subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Y'all need to follow my YouTube channel. That's where you get to hear the playbacks of these wonderful spaces. My YouTube channel is Tariq Radio. Everybody go subscribe and hit that bell notification so when we go on live, it's popping. And again, everybody's still talking about I was on live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and we had 85,000 live listeners. So, YouTube, they play little games with some of the numbers during the playbacks, but the live, you can't play games with the lives. They do a lot of shadow banning and all this stuff. But yeah, we had 85,000 live listeners yesterday. Was it yesterday? On my Twitter space here, the total listeners was like 66,000 here on Twitter space. So, folks are tuning in, man. The game is real heavy. The game is very, very heavy, man. But again, this was a learning lesson, and we got to watch how these melanated folks who try to pretend to be of our lineage, how they move and shake with these white supremacist groups. Now, this Andre guy, this guy has sat up here and lied, and this guy is a perfect example of a tether. Why we need to watch these guys, why we need to call them out, why we got to ask questions when we see these weird dudes running around lying and doing weird things. See where they're from. Now, what they're going to do, because they know the jig is up, and they know that we're on to them as far as lineage. We know that they're tethers. What they're doing now is going out of their way to try to lie. Understand that. Don't be fooled by that, family. When you ask people where they're from now, look, tethers are going to lie. That's all they do. So it's nothing for them to lie now. So they will lie about their lineage. So what they're doing now, the tethers are starting to try to do some research. They're trying to kind of learn slang and learn our vernacular, learn our accents. I saw some TikTok videos where you had tethers literally trying to learn how to talk with foundational Black American accents so they can blend in more. The tethering is real. So now they're trying to manufacture these little backgrounds now. Oh, I'm from Virginia, nigga. My family is from Virginia. But I live in Detroit. I'm like, Detroit? You don't sound or act like nobody in damn Detroit. There's no way that you are from a foundational Black American background in Detroit. The only way you could be from Detroit is if you live in some kind of enclave where you ain't really interacting with some of the regulars in the city. You too much of a goofball to roll around the city all willy-nilly. You can't be from the D like that. You from Southfield somewhere where there's a little immigrant street or some little Eritrean school or some little Somalian group home somewhere, but you ain't rolling around the D like that, acting and sounding the way you sound and then rolling with white supremacist groups. Andre, this is further proof. You can't be out here rolling in Detroit all willy-nilly and you clicked in with white supremacist groups. So yeah, if you live in Detroit, you live off somewhere, you're protected by some little immigrant community. Yeah? So we got to understand the game out here. When people say they're from certain cities, understand that they might be in a city, but they ain't in the city though. They're off somewhere in the cut where you ain't interacting with people. See, that's how a lot of the tethers get away with their foolery. They ain't really out there like that. Yeah? Should I get one more call, family? Because we in here heavy and it's lunchtime. I got to get some lunch in a minute. Y'all raise your hand because we got a lot of people in here. Let's get Jeff Harden in here. Let's get another white man in here. Jeff? What's up, Jeff? Jeff Harden, what's up, man?
About birth rates, but if you look at the CDC statistics, the Black birth rate has been in decline for the last 30 years. So you got to get a new talking point. You're on your way out.
Sir,
You're on your way out of here.
hold on, Mr. Mayonnaise Man. It can't be that much in decline because the Black birth rates are up within the last 10 years. Our birth rates are actually up within the last 10 years. So they can't have it both ways. You can't say it's down and then it's up. Our
No,
birth
Tariq,
rates have,
that's due
that's due to what?
the tethers, because 1 out of 10 blacks in America are black immigrants. So you got to thank the tethers.
Oh, Lord, no. Lord, no. Also, our birth rates are not in decline. There's still more of us being born, not immigrating over here, but more of us being born. And no, it's only like a million tethers or a million non-FBAs. It's still 43 to 45 million of us here. They're not letting like tens of millions of non-FBA black people over here. They're not doing that. So let's be real.
Well,
Your birth rates are, listen, your birth rates are in complete decline. The white supremacist birth rates are in decline. How are you going to do with those numbers? How are you going to work it out as a minority here, sir? Are you going to create an apartheid state?
well, whites are not really going to be well. Whites are going to fall below 50%, but they'll still have the largest population, around 45%. But blacks are actually becoming the smallest demographic because Asians are projected to pass you in population, according to
But what are you,
Pew Research.
what are
So how are you going to live
you
being the smallest demographic in America?
because notice family, every time you ask them about them birth rates and what they're going to do, they start projecting on the other people. No, your birth rates are in decline. What are you going to do when you are the minority? Because you're the global minority already, but being the minority here is a little bit different.
I'm
So
not
how are you going to work that?
I'm not really
Wait
worried
about
about it because, the Amish have 7 children on average. If we adopt the Amish lifestyle, we can turn our birth rates around. What do you think about
okay,
that?
yeah, but you know, a lot of the white supremacist women, what's going to happen if they're y'all living on a farm somewhere and you change your name to biblical names and you grow beards and you wear these little house on the prairie dresses and little Rebecca, she turns 21 and she gets a hankering for some soul pole. What's Abraham and Ishmael going to do about that when she gets off that farm and go down to the hood and go get with Jamal? What's Elohim going to do about that?
Well, I've actually looked into this. It's only around 3% of white women that have children with black men. And that number is pretty consistent across the dating app studies, where it shows only 3% of white women respond to black men. So I'm not really worried about that.
Well, that's what they tell y'all. Okay, it's like the hidden Trump supporters. They tell the pollsters they're going to vote for Kamala, but they're really voting for Trump. A lot of the white supremacist women do the same thing. I love black guys. Oh no, but please, you know they got little secret soul polls all off in them jaws. So they tell you guys something different than what they act on, sir. So
But let
don't
me
let them
ask you
fool
something,
you.
right? So if whites become the minority, do you think life will get better here or worse? Honest question,
Um,
because we've seen what happened when whites are the minority. When whites leave a country like Zimbabwe, where the Africans starved to death, we've seen what happened to Detroit. We've seen what happened to all these cities, Chicago. When whites,
Slow down. Oh, can we take one lie at a time? Let's do one lie at a time. Okay. Zimbabwe is good. I've been to Zimbabwe. Beautiful people. They're not starving whatsoever. The people in Zimbabwe are good money. They're good. Chicago, the people in Chicago are good. Black people are fine in Chicago. Detroit, the black people are cool in Detroit. You got some dilapidated houses that don't nobody live in on certain streets. The black people in Detroit are actually doing good. What are you going to do as a minority? And some of the white elitists who are part of very small families are going to hoard all the money for themselves. And they're not going to kick down the little white supremacist benefits to some of you rank and file white supremacists. And they're going to leave you in that trailer park without the protections you need. How are you going to fare well with? That's going to be the real problem. You're not going to get the same kind of protection from law enforcement because the elitists, they're going to hoard money to have all that protection for them. So the trailer park mayonnaise eating white supremacists like yourself, you're going to be sitting up there in the Appalachian Mountains or somewhere in the Midwest with your meth pipe in your trailer, stuck like Chuck. How are you going to fare out with that, Jeff? Go ahead, Jeff. Oh, Jeff, you all right? I think Jeff dropped his meth pipe on the phone. Unmute your microphone, Jeff. And while we're waiting on Jeff to unmute, let's get our brother Marcel in the building. I'm good, brother Marcel. How are you?
Doing good. I just want to spit some facts. And I'm not even celebrating because there are indeed some good white people who are unfortunately going to go in decline with these wannabe bigots. But the
Right.
white population dropped by 19%. That's the biggest decline the census has ever recorded. That's one. Number two, understand, and you know as well as I do, they try to buffer white numbers by making all of these groups that are not white and classifying them as white. They call black
Right.
average white. They call Afro Latinos white. If those groups were really classified as non-white because they're not, then the white population would drop even more. And according to two surveys or two studies, the black birth rate was above replenishing rate. One showed 12 states, one showed 23 states. So that's just something to keep in mind right there. And he talks about what are we going to do if whites leave, because when whites leave, places go down. No, they go down after you've destroyed it, because those places are often thriving before you came. And as far as who
Right.
needs who, here in South Carolina, and you can look this up. I know you like history. In Greenville, you probably know about this. In Greenville, South Carolina, when Black Americans in South Carolina, a lot of us, like my people, moved up to Philadelphia and New York City, they passed an ordinance and throughout all of South Carolina, they passed an ordinance where they tried to stop black people from getting on trains to go up north because they wanted this here. And in Greenville, South Carolina, when black black American women were able to stay home and work, they passed an ordinance making it illegal for black women to stay home and work. So we've never begged for white people. It's always been them wanting to come around and bother us. I just want to land that
Yes.
there.
Thank you so much. Also out there in I think in South Carolina, that's where they started. If I'm not mistaken, I'm kind of because I'll be trying to retain so many historic memories. I think that was where they first started the bar where they made it so that they had to become a lawyer, you had to pass a bar because they didn't want black lawyers um practicing law. From what I remember, and I think it started in South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, if somebody can help me out with that. If I'm not mistaken, one of the reasons why the bar was created so that you can become a lawyer was for them to thwart black people from becoming lawyers. Because it used to be much easier to become a lawyer. I forgot what the process was. It was a simpler process. Let me get Brother Marcel in here. Now, I'm kind of remembering here, but I knew it was a simpler process. And when they found out many black men were becoming lawyers and black women, they were like, "Oh no, we got to have a bar. We got to have a body and commission and people to kind of decide whether or not we're going to give you your law degree." Marcel, have you heard that?
Yeah,
Am I
that
kind
was South. That was indeed South Carolina, and that's why they started the bar, and they started it with the HBCUs because they wanted to make it harder for Black Americans to become lawyers because they were afraid, and we do have some on code foundation Black American lawyers would stand up for our rights and fight. So, yep, South Carolina started that as well. Absolutely correct.
of? There you go. Thank you so much. I knew I was there. I wanted to double check and make sure. We're phenomenal, man. Yeah, so when that suspected white supremacist called up talking about what we ain't being sabotaged, man, these folks do everything in their power to sabotage us. Many of these institutions that we see that's normalized, they got started in order to thwart us. Yeah, the bar that was started to thwart black people from becoming lawyers. These people are so damn threatened by us, family, it's ridiculous. Hell, marriage license, family. That's another thing. Marriage licenses, that was created to stop black women from getting money out of these damn white dudes. Yeah, that's why they had to have marriage licenses so they can kind of decide who to give and who not to give marriage licenses to, because you had black women out here spitting game and finessing these white dudes out of that money. They're like, oh, hell no. There was a major case in New York. It was a sister named Hannah Elias who became the richest black woman in the country, probably one of the richest black women in the world, early 1900s. Sister was I think she was originally from Philadelphia, foundational Black American woman, and they had her. She was working as a sex worker as a youth, but then went up to New York and started getting them white tricks and spitting game at them. And this woman was sitting on millions of dollars, had a spot in Park Avenue, had a big ass mansion. She was the one who helped make Harlem black, by the way. Harlem used to be all white. Harlem was an all white place. She owned a lot of apartment complexes and buildings in Harlem and started kicking the white people out and letting the black folks move in. A lot of folks don't know that. Foundational Black American woman helped make it happen to make Harlem black. That's what helped make Harlem a black mecca. There's a sister named Hannah Elias, and then she disappeared, and I think they said she moved to France or something because the block got hot because the family of her tricks kept trying to sue her because she was getting so much damn money. They were like, this bitch is doing voodoo or something. She's doing something. We got to get this money back. And she was going to court winning. She was going to court winning over these white people. They're like, I ain't doing that. They want to give me some money. Hell, I'm going to take it. And they had this, one of her accounts, she had like $600,000. This is in like 1910. You know how much $600,000 is in 1910? She was balling the hell out. We had a lot of people getting it, man. We were getting it, dude. They don't like talking about that. Speaking of working in a brothel, we got a T.S. Giselle in here. T.S. Giselle, how are you? What's going on with you?
You know, it's very ironic that you just pinged me because I wanted to say that you really, I hate that you're having this space now, Tariq, because Kamala is being interviewed by Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast
Okay.
Club now. And the focus of this interview has been to address concerns in terms of, you know, that her supposed drop in the black male vote or support. And just as you brought me on stage, someone called in from Detroit and asked Kamala would she support reparations and specifically what she would do for black voters. This is a very interesting question. So I'm trying to listen to her answer. So perhaps instead of having this pointless space, maybe you should have.
Don't tell us what to do. Go ahead and listen to it. All right. And talking about it's not supposed to drop off of black male support. I mean, this real drop off, black men ain't really rocking with her like that. And truth be told, a lot of black women are not rocking with her like that. And look like Kamala's about to lose. Looks like she's on the track of losing right now. And right now she's at the last minute. They thought we were bluffing when we said we ain't rocking with her. And they tried to play chicken with us and we stood on business, and now they're scrambling at the last minute. Like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Hey, black man, black brother, no other black brother. No, don't black brother now. Don't wait now with the black brother talk now. I love you, black man. I don't want to hear that now. Go lay your ass up with Doug. Go lay up with Zaddy. Don't come doing this last ditch black man outreach. Go to hell. I'm cool. No. Don't go throw your kente cloth on now and try to be, be the black mother. Get the hell out of here. I don't want to hear it. You too late. We didn't told you what the business was. All right. Cyborg, what's
How's it
up,
going,
brother?
brother? How you been, man?
I'm good, man. How are you,
I'm doing
Cyborg?
pretty good. Interesting space you got here. I
Yes.
apologize for some of these fools you've been calling up. They are definitely low information gentlemen. So, I'd love to have a great conversation with you. I'd love to understand your background a little bit.
Yeah, man. I'm just a regular foundational Black American, just trying to make sure that other foundational Black Americans are getting the debts that's sold to them, man, and just having our lineage respected. Now, Cyberg, I hear a little accent from you. I'm pretty good on accents. Or is there a Canadian thing
No,
going on
man,
there?
I'm Western Utah,
Western Utah. Okay, Mormon.
ex-Mormon, used to be.
Okay. Did you have a whole bunch of wives?
No, that's not me, and definitely not the
Okay.
traditional Mormons. That's your fundamentalist Mormons. They call them the FLDS.
Oh man. Oh yeah, the Mormons. Some of them were slave owners too. A lot of folks they try to come across as holier than thou. Some of the Mormons were,
Yeah, yes,
they
they do. Yes, they do. That's a big reason why I ended up walking away from it because the holier than thou stance uh, isn't just rampant amongst how they treat other people outside of LDS. It's even rampant inside the LDS people to where they shame people to step and stay in line.
wow. So what's on your mind? So how do you feel about the conversations we've been having?
You know, I I'm a little sad by them, honestly, because I think I think white and black Americans have a lot more in common than they realize. You know, my background is I put myself through college. I was in the military, so I served alongside brothers.
Yeah.
I used to be addicted to drugs at one point. And I literally had to give it all up and worked myself from literally being a drug runner to becoming a CPA, and then becoming a CPA, becoming a CFO, and going into education in trying to help steer education in a better direction for all of our children.
Yes, indeed. Now, what were you strung out on meth? Because I know meth is big out there in Utah.
No, no, that was not my thing. My thing was essentially cannabis and mushrooms. I
Okay.
did a little coke, but also wasn't really my thing. But that
Okay.
other stuff, no, not my forte.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. He reminded me of something. Speaking of education, out here in California, and family, we need to watch how some of this stuff goes down. One of these conservative groups, I think that of Ed Blum, or whatever his name is, that guy who puts all of these lawsuits against black causes. Anytime there's black folks getting some money somewhere or the thought of black people getting something, this guy goes and files a racial discrimination suit. Is it Ed Blum? I forgot what his name is, but one of those um alt-right suspected white supremacist conservative groups. There was a black initiative program out here in California, some kind of black education program that gave extra education resources to kind of help black students um, get ahead, and it was working to a certain degree. But then they filed some kind of lawsuit and it was like $120 million, and had that money taken away because they went in and start talking about it was unconstitutional because it was giving race-based benefits, and it violated the 13th and 14th Amendment because it was for black students. And I'm thinking, why would they frame it that way? Why would the people with the program frame it that way? But then I start looking at some of the people who were running the program. Looks like it was a bunch of non-FBA people. It was like some Haitians, because there was one woman, her last name was Baptiste, and that's like a Haitian name. And I saw a couple of other like Nigerian last names. See, we got to watch this too, because what happens is a lot of these programs will say, hey, we need a program for black people. And what happens is all of the resources is going to African and Caribbeans, because it's illogical to just say black when you're talking about a federally funded program, because they're going to eventually try to strike it down. So this is why claiming lineage is important. This is why we got to get in front of this stuff, family. Whenever there's some type of financial federal program, we have to know how to move and shake with the terms. If we make that thing lineage based, then they can't sit up here and say, okay, we're going to file 14th, 13th Amendment lawsuits, because when it's lineage based or status based, this is why we got to use Friedman. That's where the Friedman term comes in. We got to know how to use these words. When you're dealing with some federal stuff, you better dust off some of these words. Use Friedman when you're trying to get some kind of federal grant, because they can't deny that. Because if you deny that, then you're going to have to deny all of the Native Americans who get benefits and resources based on their status, because they get benefits and resources based on their status. And the term freedman is federally recognized. It's in a lot of these federal documents, including many of those Native American documents. Those Native American treaties, they have the word freedman in it. because we're supposed to be getting some of the same stuff that they get, like the Treaty of 1866, that Indian treaty, where they're supposed to get land allotments and money allotments. They even say, hey, the freedmen connected to those tribes, they're supposed to get that too. So we better know how to use these words. We better know how to use these damn words, and we got to watch out when we have a task force or some kind of commission, and you have a bunch of tethers on there demanding that the word black is used. Let's just make it for everybody. That they do that because they know they can't get in on the lineage side of the game. They know that. So we got to watch everybody, man. We got to watch everybody. Okay, bring my somebody saying bring up Marcel. Something going on with Trump. What's happening? Brother Marcel, somebody said bring Marcel up regarding Trump. What's going on? Marcel, is something going on? Somebody said bring Marcel up. Hold on. Hold on one second. Marcel, hop on, brother. Pastor Scott said he's speaking to Trump tonight. Okay, what is this? Okay. Who is this?
Campaign manager wanted me to let you know that, Dr. Daryl Scott, I guess he heard your broadcast yesterday, whatever. But he was like, hey, I'm talking to Trump this evening. And I just want us to make sure, because there's another guy that works with Trump. He doesn't like the social media, so I won't say his name. He actually did write a black agenda. It's not lineage that specific like we wanted it, but he is adamant that we are going to be happy with it. But he says, he wrote it. I believe him when he said he wrote it. But for some reason, whatever, Trump has not gone forward with it. They all, him and Dr. Scott, have all told me that Trump is surrounded by a lot of bigots, but Trump is still a grown man who does what he wants to do all the time. So I am going to say, Dr. Scott, if you're talking with Trump this evening, hey, ask him why has he not come forward with that black agenda, because I know he has one. And I just wanted to deliver that message also. We can apply some pressure on them. And that's what I want to deliver.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, bro. Let me get Sir Major in here. Sir Major, what's up, brother?
So the guy that we speak of, we gotta call this stuff out. His name is Kareem Lanier. Okay, Kareem rolls with Daryl Scott, and they're both in cahoots, right? We were trying to get this stuff done with you, Tariq, getting this stuff done. What people was doing was nigga business and trying to make a couple dollars off the situation. Now, I can go into more, but you already are aware of those conversations. There was a third party who you forwarded over. Dude was trying to make money off that situation too. So I'm gonna just put it out on the flow. Daryl Scott, like I said, and I stand on business, is full of shit. He uses and sells the access to the president for his own personal gain. I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to speak about something you brought up when you were talking about things have to be lineage based and you can't do it race based. Listen, there's an organization in the state of Florida. It's called HANA. It's a Haitian American Nursing Association. They give out grants and scholarships. Okay, that organization does. They only give it to Haitian people, and if you're not Haitian, you're not getting a scholarship. Okay, so they do this stuff all the time. We have to be unapologetic when we're demanding our stuff. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Real talk, man. Hey, man, don't let nobody try to shame you for us getting some lineage-based stuff. For some reason, we feel like we're doing, like we're hurting. Oh, if we get some for ourselves and not include everybody, oh, we're doing something bad. No, man, let there be a Ugandan grant somewhere. We better not go nowhere near it. Man, we better stop being afraid to say, hey, man, this is lineage based. Because they sit up and holler about these tethers, be talking about how much we ain't got no culture. Let us get a Juneteenth grant going on. They'll be the first one in damn line. And we've seen that. Remember some of those Juneteenth grants that was around the country? They had these little Miss Juneteenth contests and all that. And we're looking at the runners up. There's a bunch of damn Afro Latinos and Nigerians and Ghanaians and all of these little French Haitian names. I'm like, oh, what the hell this got to do with some damn Juneteenth? Well, they'll jump in ahead of us. They'll knock us over to get a Juneteenth grant. You understand? It's stuff based on our culture. So yeah, let's not be afraid to have stuff that's lineage based. They don't let us touch their stuff. Don't let them touch ours. But yeah, this thing, I did a broadcast. I put up the clip about Daryl Scott. I'm like, yeah, it seemed like to me, low key, Daryl Scott might be almost sabotaging Trump's thing. The way he acting, these dudes are doing all this old goofy ass stuff. Yet, they said Kamala is on the Breakfast Club now. But listen, man, listen. If Kamala and Trump want to stop being neck and neck, because they're both neck and neck right now, whoever sits down with the grassroots and have a real conversation, that's the one that's going to get a leg up. Y'all talking to all of these platforms, that's basically Democrat shield platforms. You're preaching to the damn choir. That's why you're just neck and neck. Right here, we're right in the middle. The grassroots over here, we're in the middle. We're not committed to anybody. I'm straight up and down. I'm not committed to anybody. Most of us are not really committed to anybody on the black grassroots. That's the swing vote right there. This is the swing vote. The black grassroots is the swing vote, ladies and gentlemen. They can play games if they want to. Family, the other night on my Twitter, not my Twitter, on my YouTube channel, we had 85,000 live listeners that everybody saw. Everybody was taking screenshots. Family, 85,000 people listening at once. And when we're talking about politics, that can make and break an election. 85,000 people can make or break an election, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? 85,000 grassroots listeners can make or break an election. So, hey, y'all can play games if you want to. Y'all better get some damn act right, and that's for your benefit. Y'all ain't benefiting me or us over here. We're good over here. On November 6th, we're going to still be doing what we're doing. November 6th, I'm going to be at Roscoe's eating some chicken and waffles. I'm going to be doing my daily stuff. But if y'all want to win or lose, either one of y'all better come down here and holler at the grassroots and let us know what the deal is and have a real-ass conversation. Everybody follow Red Joker. Red Joker be on here roasting the hell out of people. I see Red Joker down there. Shout out to my brother Red Joker. Red Joker is just murdering this Haitian tether. He's just crushing him, roasting him. Shout out to Red Joker. Anyway, man, it's been real. I might go on a little bit later on tonight. Everybody go to rootworkstyle.com to get the Rootwork deodorant. Rootworkstyle.com, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm up out of here, man. Y'all be good. Peace.
In the heart of nature, we find our true strength, a connection to our roots, to the land, to each other. Introducing Rootwork deodorant, infused with the potent power of High John the Conqueror root. Embrace the natural strength and resilience passed down through generations. Feel the purity of natural ingredients, harmonizing with your body and spirit. Rootwork deodorant, bringing you in tune with nature and with yourself. Rootwork deodorant. Connect, empower, thrive. Available now at rootworkstyle.com.